What if the solution to a painful recurring cyst wasn't a needle or surgery, but a simple Band-Aid and a few drops of essential oils? For years, Nicole dealt with a ganglion cyst that made everyday tasks like grabbing a grocery bag agonizing. After enduring a painful medical aspiration that didn't even keep the cyst away, she decided to consult her Essential Life book to see if there was another way. Today, we're hearing a story about the power of persistence, the simplicity of a basic essential oil kit, and the relief of finding a solution that actually lasts. Listen in as she shares how she moved from pain to a natural Band-Aid remedy that worked in less than a week.
I had a cyst in my hand right on my middle finger right here, right at the base. And I believe it's called a ganglion cyst. And I'd had it for many years. It was probably the size of the end of a pin. And it had just been there for a long time, and it felt like a little marble or a piece of sand. And most of the time, it didn't feel like anything, and I didn't really notice it too much. But when I used my hand to grab something like a grocery bag or something, it would just send this super painful shot all the way up, and it would just be like, oh, do not use that hand to pick up anything. And so after a while, as it got a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger over the years, I thought, I really need to do something, because this is really beginning to get in the way of just normal use of my hand. And so I went to a doctor's, and they said, what we normally do is we stick a needle in there and we aspirate it and take the fluid out, and that will collapse it. And I thought, oh, okay, well, I need to do this, and so that's fine. We did it, and they don't really numb it up or anything, and they just stick the needle in there, and it was super painful. I was using all my natural childbirth techniques to just be calm and let them do the procedure right there in the office. But in essence, I hated it. It was painful, and they said there is a chance that it can just fill back up and be back again. And within about 6 months, it came back just the same way. But this time I decided there's got to be another way, because I definitely do not want them to stick that needle into my hand again. And so I got my book and I looked up the cyst in here. It had some oils there, and I tried those oils. In fact, I put them under a little Band-Aid, and I just put that on there, and probably within a week it was gone. And it stayed away for a couple years, and I was like, wow, that was super easy just for me to have a Band-Aid on my hand and for the cyst to go away. So when it came back, I thought, you know what? I'm gonna just try it again, but this time I'm gonna use the oils that only come in the basic essential oil kit that you would buy. So some of the oils that they had recommended were a little bit more expensive, or a little bit ones that maybe people wouldn't have in a very basic essential oil lineup. And so this time I used different oils, and I put the back of my hand. A few days later, the cyst was gone, and that was years ago. Still hasn't come back. And I thought at the end of the day, even if I have to treat it every couple years, that's so much easier than having a doctor stick a needle in my hand, because having a Band-Aid on there was super easy. Not to mention that I remember I was at an event and I put On Guard or something on it, and it smelled so good that I kept smelling the Band-Aid. I was like, this smells delicious. And I thought, oh, people are gonna think, why is this person smelling their Band-Aid on their hand? But it was just such an easy way to fix something that was so painful and wasn't working. And what I learned after that was that people have had surgeries, they've done all kinds of things to get rid of those cysts, scars and all kinds of stuff, and they keep coming back. And I thought, this is such an easy way. Why aren't people looking to essential oils to treat some of these things? No more cyst on my hand, can just grab anything, do anything with my hand, no problem now. And it wasn't just like there was one special oil. I think there was lots of oils that would have done the trick. And so that was awesome.
It's so empowering to hear how a simple shift in approach can replace a painful medical procedure. To go from struggling just to get through a needle aspiration to just simply smelling a delicious Band-Aid is exactly the kind of transformation we love to share. Before we wrap up, let's look at a few pro tips from this story that can help you with similar challenges. First of all, the Bandaid Compress. Notice how she used a Band-Aid to keep the oils in direct contact with the cyst. This acts like a mini compress, allowing the oils to penetrate the area consistently over several hours rather than just evaporating off the skin. Second, flexibility of oils. One of the most important takeaways here is that you don't always need a special specific oil. She successfully cleared the cyst using only basic oils, showing that essential oils are really very versatile and they can handle a wide variety of needs. And third, addressing the root cause. While medical aspiration only drained the fluid, essential oils can support the body in truly resolving the root issue. you. As she noted, even if it requires a refresh every few years, it's a far less invasive way to manage recurring issues. The Oil Stories podcast is proudly sponsored by EssentialLife.com. If you have a small but painful issue like a cyst or irritated skin, don't guess which oil to use. You can just look it up in your Essential Life app or book right now and see the exact protocols that have helped so many others like Nicole. If you have an essential oil win, whether it was a one oil wonder or a protocol from our book, please submit your story at essentiallife.com/podcast. We'd love for your story to inspire our listeners. Please share this episode with anyone you know who is tired of just managing a problem and is ready to try resolving it naturally. We hope this inspires you to reach for your oils today. See you next time.